Hello everyone, I am Amal Rich, Assistant Professor, Department of Computer Science, St. Joseph's College of Arts and Science for Women, Hosur. In this video, I am going to share about constructors and destructors in C++. Constructor. A constructor is a special member function which enables an object to initialize itself when it is created. It is special because the name of the constructor and the name of the class must be same. It constructs the value of data members of the class. That's why it is called as a constructor. A constructor is invoked whenever an object of its associated class is created. This is the syntax for defining the constructor. Class name, list of parameters, and then we have to define our constructor. If we are going to define the constructor outside of the class means we have to use scope resolution operator. Constructor is a member function but it does not have any return type since they don't have a return value. There are three types of constructors in C++. One is default constructor, second one is parameterized constructor, and the third one is copy constructor. Default constructor. A constructor which does not have any arguments or parameters is called default constructor. As we know, constructor name and class name must be same. This is the syntax for creating default constructor. Class name with no parameters and constructor body. This is the example for default constructor. In this example, we are creating a class called cube. In the cube class, we are creating constructor with no parameters. And in the main function, we are creating an object C1 for the class cube. So whenever we are creating an object, it automatically calls the constructor, that is default constructor, because here we are not using any parameters. So the control moves to the cube constructor. In that constructor, we are initialize the value of variable side is equal to 10. So the variable value is assigned as 10, and using cout statement we are going to print the value of side with the help of C1. So we are getting the output as 10. Parameterized constructor. The constructors with arguments or parameters is called parameterized constructors. We know that constructor name and the class name must be same. In parameterized constructors, we must pass the initial values as arguments when an object is created. This is the syntax for creating parameterized constructor. Class name with parameters list and constructor body. Here is an example for parameterized constructor. In this example, we are creating a class called cube and creating a constructor with parameter x. In the main function, we are creating an object C1 for the class cube. Whenever we are creating an object, the control automatically moves to constructor. In this example, we are creating an object with the parameter 25. So the control will goes to constructor and the value of 25 is assigned to x. Inside the constructor, we are assigning the value of x to side variable. Now in main function, we are calling the variable side with the help of the object C1. So the output is 25. The value of side is 25. That value is printed here as 25. Copy constructor. A copy constructor is a member function that initializes an object using another object of the same class. A copy constructor takes a reference to an object of the same class as an argument. Copy constructor is used to initialize the members of a newly created object by copying the members of an already existing object. This is the syntax for creating copy constructor. Class name, in parameter list, class name and object name. Here is an example for copy constructor. In this example, we are using a class called sample. In this class, we are creating a member function init with one parameter x. That x value is assigned to the variable id. And we are creating a constructor, default constructor with empty body, and one more constructor, that is copy constructor. In this copy constructor, we are assigning the value of t.id to id. Next, we are creating one more function called display. This function is used to display the output in the screen, that is id value into the screen. In main function, we are creating one object called obj1 for the class sample, and we are initializing the value of id is 10 with the help of init function, and display the value of id with the help of display function. So the first output is id is equal to 10. Now we are going to call the copy constructor. For that, we are going to create one more object called obj2 with reference of obj1. Now we are going to display the value of obj2. So the second output is id is equal to 10. Destructor. A destructor is a special member function just like constructor. It destroys the class objects created by the constructor. It has the same name as their class name preceded by a tilde symbol. It is not possible to define more than one destructor. It is the only way to destroy the object created by the constructor. It cannot be overloaded. It is automatically called when the object goes out of the scope. Destructors release memory space occupied by the objects created by the constructor. This is the syntax for defining destructor within the class. Using tilde symbol, we are creating destructor within the class. Using scope resolution operator, we are defining destructor outside the class. Here is an example for destructors. In this example, we are creating a class called test. In that class, we are creating a constructor test and destructor test. Destructor is preceded by tilde symbol. In main function, we are creating an object T for the class test. So whenever we are creating an object, it automatically calls the constructor. So within that constructor, we are printing the statement constructor executed. So the first output will be displayed constructor executed. And the next statement in main function is return. So when the object goes out of the scope, it automatically calls the destructor. So in destructor, we are printing the statement destructor executed. So the second statement is destructor executed is printing on the screen. Now it's time for a small assessment on the topic constructor and destructors in C++. Go through these MCQs and post your answers in the comments. Thank you all.